What's up, world? This is We Need a Fifth. Your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
Yo,
He on the line. Fellas, it's the week after the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was able to bring it home for the Kansas City Chiefs. Were you guys able to see the Super Bowl?
Definitely. Definitely.
Um, just want to ask, hey, does this solidify Patrick Mahomes' resume as hey, a contender for greatest of all time?
Yeah, I've heard people say, and I kind of agree with them. He could walk away tomorrow. He's top three.
mm,
Mm, wow. Oh, top three already. You got to pass Montana and Bradshaw and
Oh no,
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 he
he,
said
he
top three. He
Marino.
said Montana, Elway, him.
Wow.
oh no, no, Brady, Brady, Montana, and then Mahomes. But you can make an argument for Elway though, because Elway has two,
Wow.
but I actually saw Elway get his two. Terrell Davis was the best player on that team, so
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Um, okay. What is this? What does the L do for your man Jalen Hurts, man?
Nothing.
He threw for over 300 yards. Had
Yeah,
what, four touchdowns? Three touchdowns, 400 yards. I mean, 300 yards, three touchdowns. At a costly turnover, but
Yeah.
nothing. Gave him experience. I thought he played a wonderful game.
yeah. I think to me the conversation was like Herbert, maybe Herbert for some, Josh Allen and Burrow. To me, Jalen Hurts has to be mentioned. Like he's right there now.
Right.
Right. So this does to me this doesn't tarnish anything. Like I saw him play. He's really good. He's just not better than Mahomes right now.
Actually, actually leapfrog a couple of those guys you named. You know, with
I'm not mad at it.
this year and him showing up, it's time he gets his due respect. So
Yeah.
yeah,
There's only one other. The only other quarterback was in the Super Bowl was Mahomes. So I'm
right.
with it. You have to rank Jalen Hurts. I think he's deserving.
Where do you guys rank Andy Reid as a coach at this point?
I, I would say one of the best. I mean, I don't know, like numbers going to say top 10. Yes, he has two.
Definitely, I would say, and maybe top two offensive minds ever behind maybe
Oh
Walsh. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. He's kind of like to use a basketball analogy, kind of like D'Antoni, but he wins.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think he really cares too much about the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? But offensively, like you said, his offensive mind is just unparalleled by most. You know what I mean?
I mean, you take Tyreek Hill out the mix, which is a major, downfield weapon, and knowing that teams are just going to scheme on Kelsey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's just plug in receiver here, running back here. Now you know of Isaiah Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? Now, uh, what you call him gets your shot again. Schuster. I mean, all these players just plug in, and it's just a scheme of how they have it. Knowing that they might have limited possessions in the second half, which they did, and scoring every time that they got them, which was like what four
Mm.
times.
Yeah.
It's just a masterpiece. Imagine, you know what I'm saying? It's finally Andy gets to show himself in truth. From that first one that he got was little sketchy. This time they made the most out of each possession, which was very impressive on a bum leg Mahomes.
Mm. What do you what are your guys' thoughts on Eric B. Enemy? I hear he's making a lateral move, or at least that's what they're calling it at this point.
But he was
For
offered
the
one. You mean at Washington?
to Washington Commanders. He's going to be the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders.
Did he take it yet, or he? I know it's offered.
I,
I don't
I,
think he's
I
taken
think
it yet, right?
I think he's I think
Last I
last
saw the last I saw it was like close to an agreement, whatever that
yeah.
means. But I think there's something that I'm not seeing or I'm not privy to. Like I don't understand why he's not a head coach. Anything
Yeah.
less than a head coach would be a bad move in my eyes. But no.
I think the going excuse right now, Pete, is that now Andy Reid, the offensive genius, calls all the plays. So Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator, what do you really do for the Kansas City Chiefs?
And
That's basically the question, the excuse
right,
that they use.
right. And I think everybody on this panel knows that's BS.
Yeah.
Racist BS, to be honest. Call it what it is. Yeah.
Right.
So,
and then he's gonna go to a place where they just circulate 3 quarterbacks over a season. I mean, who's gonna be the quarterback?
He's going to go to the one team in the NFL that is the picture book of dysfunctionality on every level.
But I don't know but why would he go anyways? Let's he has 3 quarterbacks that they don't know which one they're going to use. Let's just say they stay with Heineken. Mm-hmm. The team's going to probably get sold next year. And when you get a new management, they're not obligated to keep Eric Bieniemy. Why would you do that?
Right.
When you get a new owner, they want their own people in.
I want my guy, my people.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't understand the move in general. I mean,
I'm with you. It's like I said. Maybe I'm missing something. I have to be missing something. Like if he can't get a head coaching job right now, I would stay at Kansas City.
Andy Reid, it just makes sense. I mean, they're going to keep winning, and Mahomes is here
learning
10 years the minimum.
And to be honest, I don't even think it's learning. It's just waiting for the opportunity. Because, of course, you always could get better. But I mean, come on, he's ready. Even if he's not ready, he should have an opportunity to show that he's not ready.
Absolutely. Right.
It's ridiculous.
All right, fellas. Enough about the NFL.
Protect the shield.
The NFL. Let's get back to the real sport out there that we all love and can't get enough of, and that'd be basketball. The NBA starts its All-Star festivities this weekend, and last night they had the 3-point contest, the skills contest, and the slam dunk contest. First of all, did you guys get to see any of those?
Absolutely not.
Excuse me.
Absolutely not.
As you can see, I'm under the weather, so I was able to watch all of it.
Wow. I saw
health is truly wealth.
I saw a portion of the 3-point contest, and I saw a portion of the skills contest, and I totally missed the dunk contest.
You actually missed the best part this time.
Missed or avoided.
You know what? When I turned to the 3-point contest, unfortunately for me, Julius Randle was shooting. I don't know why he was in the 3-point contest. I don't consider him a 3-point shooter, but he was shooting, and he wasn't doing a good job at it. I think he hit 13 Hill, 8 or 13 or something like that. And that kind of made me change his handle right away. You know how I am about these Knicks. They really okay.
Well, they were heavily deep into the skills challenge, and they were into the slam dunk contest as well. So there was New York representation.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah.
Because Randall, I don't know if he's the best shooter on this team, but apparently he has confidence in taking the 3. So
yeah,
that's not what we were here for. Thank God Dame Lillard shined, and he took it down.
And this is the last. I'm gonna get off the New York Knicks hate parade, but the best shot of the evening was after Julius Randle shoots, and his son says, "Ugh, Dad, what was that?" And they showed his son's face. He was equally disgusted, just as disgusted as I was by his dad's performance. I thought that was particularly touching. Best shot of the night.
Shameless too, I think, when you have unless there be props unless there be Kenyon's dad or anything of that nature. Shameless for the plugs for the whole family.
Oh,
I think the children should be in the seats, maybe 2 rows back. They're on the court. Shameless plugs.
I mean,
that's
what you. That adds at least another point when you bring your pops on the court, right?
That I
for
don't
the
mind.
dunk
I
contest.
don't mind. They're older, but the children factor of it is, yeah.
Not,
Kids
not,
go
not, not
guys
here for the
go-
kids, huh?
no, I'm like, no, these guys up here cheering, which I enjoy. I enjoy the whole cheering and this whole spectacle of it. Just the holding the children in the front row and everybody's bumping into each other. I'm like, yeah, kids can stay in the back.
Gotcha.
Unless it's not like, I've seen certain games back in, previous times where kids played a part in people having coming up to the bench in the old school NBA and come kids. I don't see that all the time with the NBA.
Mm.
Then an All-Star game festivities, it's just maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's just the whole, they want to have that feel. That whole fan,
And look,
I don't know,
because you were able to watch it all,
right?
whenever I turned to this, it seemed like they were shooting terribly. Like it seemed like you had a couple of strings of bad shooting being displayed, especially during the skills challenge and whatnot. Am I bugging, or did you see that too?
Well, no, Halliburton actually surprised me. He shot the ball well in the first span. I can't stand his release.
Oh, it's ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly.
he's
It's
So
yeah,
I
that's a
can't
funky release,
it's unconventional.
right. That's
yeah,
what it
to
does.
say the least.
Marketing has a great release. He was just off, but he has great rotation, great form. And so does my guy from Sacramento. If
Was
I can
it
get his name,
Buddy
who's on the
Hill?
Hawks. No,
Oh,
Buddy Hill is on Indiana.
the
But
Red Rocket Herter.
yes, Hertha. Had great form too, and he came up short as well. But
And your
Jalen's
boy
not as
Hero
well.
came up. Hero came up short too, right?
Who?
Tyler Hero.
Yes. Hero is more streaky than pure form. Hero's one you can say can shoot it, but it's more streaky. Like Jalen, I'm not Jalen, excuse me. Tatum is shot the ball much better.
Mm.
He had 21 points in his first ring, and Dame knocked out Herder and him. But Dame is more so like the actual the bonus ball are pretty much standard shots for Dame Lillard. That's meant for him. So that's why I thought that he would actually edge out and win this competition.
Let me ask you this.
All right, let's go skills challenge. Skills challenge, hometown heroes, Utah Jazz. They played a part. They won it. I thought there'd probably be some bias towards, but you can't because it was just naturally a skill challenge. But hats off to Utah for winning it.
The skills challenge. This is where we at.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Do it in the game.
Let's talk about what we're hearing about all day today. The dunk contest. I hear it was one of the best dunk contests in a couple of years. What are your thoughts on that, Hill?
In a couple of years, yes, because the last couple of years have been bad prior to Levine and Gordon. I think though this has been the best since. I mean, this wasn't the greatest, but it's been putrid.
Okay.
Since then. So Matt McClung brought some excitement to this dunk contest. I think more so, people were actually making their dunks. You know what I mean? Okay. I thought Kenyon Martin Jr. You know what I'm saying? I thought, yeah, no, it does.
Yeah, it does.
I thought the judging was a little questionable on some of their better dunks, but it kind of found a way to even itself out, which was weird because their worst dunks were what their better dunks should have got. So it just made sense in the end, if that kind of makes any sense. So the scores weren't that bad. It just seems like the judge were off on the actual dunks, which they should have been given good scores on. But they made up for it for the bad dunks, which they made up for it. So all in all, I had a good night.
Now let me ask you this. So, Matt McClung won. I think he just signed a two-way contract with the 76ers like a week or so ago.
Okay.
Do you think the NBA should start trying to attract more professional dunkers? Guys who are on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, dunking, getting 1 million, 2 million views because they're able to, attract the crowd because of their ability to dunk. Do you think the NBA should make a more concerted effort to invite these guys to this dunk competition and make it, hey, uh, NBA versus the world type of thing, where hey, we invite people to come in, show their ability, and whoever wins gets the prize.
Yeah, I think you probably get the better dunks from those guys, to be fair, because I think our litmus test of the NBA guys of what they do on the court. You know what I'm saying? They tend they do it in games. So I think all these guys who we think are really great dunkers, like John Morant, you know what I'm saying? These are in-game dunks that these guys are doing. These YouTubers are that's just what they do on empty courts. So just for excitement, I mean, I would prefer to watch the best dunkers do it, because the guys that are doing it in game doesn't seem to correlate to, in-game dunks. I think their dunks are way more exciting because they're actually happening at the highest level. You know what I mean? Josh dunking on people, LeBron's dunking on people. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron's power dunks, I don't know, would get the same feel like Neek. I think Neek's dunks, Neek's 50s to me were in game. You know what I mean? Like dunking on people was like, I've seen his best stuff playing against people. You know what I'm saying? And he was a tremendous dunker in dunk contests for sure. But people's best dunks have been in games. And these other people aren't dunking, they're just dunking on YouTube per se. And I would rather see them do that because that's what they do per se.
But doesn't that speak to a larger issue the NBA has in that it's great in-game dunkers like John Morant, like LeBron James, like a Zion Williamson. They never come to the NBA dunk contest, at least in the last couple of years. You have a league that can't get its best performers in-game dunkers, to your point, to come to the dunk contest and compete. Whereas before in Jordan's era, Michael Jordan, hey, I'm going to compete not only once, twice, 3 times.
Right.
Where we can't get these great in-game dunkers to compete one time for a dunk contest.
But because I think creativity is spontaneous when NBA players. Right? So like a Vince Carter dunk or a LeBron dunk is thought of actually happening at the moment. These YouTubers might not get a chance to get that unless it's a leaked out dunk where you're able to see them do a 360. So they have to make these videos. 9 times out of 10, they might not even be playing or good enough to pull these feet off unless it's staged. But these players that are doing it in live time. And then you're getting those best dunks. So them doing it without it, I don't know if the creativity is there, because the creativity for them, at least from my standpoint, it's natural. It's in game. Let me decide to change it to my left or windmill it, and it's like actually happening. So these other guys that I'm seeing doing it are just literally having a camera down and they're saying, just look at my creativity, and they can't pull it off in an actual game. So it's better for them, and I would rather see them because that's their job, having a camera down and then bringing up creativity with props and things of that nature, as opposed to a regular player where you say, all right, Nate Short or Desmond Mason. Not, like, these people are known for doing it in game. That's why it makes it so, special, I guess, for me to watch it that way. So I'd rather watch somebody who's usually doing it and is just known that that's what you're gonna get in these games. I probably don't want to see any NBA players do it actually.
Okay. P, where you at on this discussion right now, man? Do you think the NBA has more of an issue of not being able to get its great in-game dunkers to the competition? Or is it, hey, the NBA needs to shift their marketing and say, hey, let's just target great dunkers and invite them to our All-Star weekend to compete?
When you say great dunkers, do you mean like non-NBA players?
Yeah,
or
include
no?
non-NBA
I think maybe that against NBA players might be a thing, but overall, it's a showcase for the NBA. So it
players.
wouldn't be in their best interest. You know, they much rather, and I understand that they're not into it, but they much rather showcase Zion, Ja, than some guy on YouTube because it doesn't serve any purpose for the NBA. But I think overall, it's just not cool, right? Like the slam dunk contest, like Ja, if Ja and Zion enter it, for what? Not the money, not the fame. So what's the point? You know what I mean?
Mm.
And like you were saying earlier, like when Jordan and Dominique was doing it, it was still fairly new. You know what I mean? They're young players trying to get their name out there, whatever, whatever. But now it's kind of like passe. Like,
Okay.
after Jordan and Neek, Vince Carter, like Hill was saying, Gordon and Zach LaVine, it's kind of like, what else can you do?
Mhm.
But I would love to see Zion, Ja, and the top four young players that are excellent dunkers to be in it. But I just don't think that's realistic at this point.
It's more like you say, like only reason why I'm saying get rid of because, like you said, I think it's beneath guys. So if they're not
Yeah.
going to do it, it's like a credibility booster for those mid to low level NBA players. Like if I win this, I'll get some type of endorsement, to bang because I mean
Mhm.
Desmond Mason got a big bump in it, and the other guy from the Knicks, pick a Nick,
Kenny Skywalker.
Skywalker.
any other one,
I mean, that's the
Obi
reason.
Toppin.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it could boost me up a little bit. I'm a slam dunk champion for
Mhm.
this, and I can run with it for a couple months and get some endorsements from it. Hopefully, you know what I mean. So with regular people, it's beneath them.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. I really think they should have. I know they're not, but like I haven't watched in years. I have no interest in it. I mean, to me at this point, the 3-point contest would probably be more exciting because it's actually a skill. You know what I mean? Like, and they had better plays in it. Like you said, Dame won last night. You had Market, and you have all stars actually participating in the slam dunk contest. Were there any all stars at all in the slam dunk contest?
Negative.
No.
So, so what exactly are you? Because to me, I always look at it also Saturday as showcasing the young talent, like the rising stars, whatever.
Mm.
I mean, good for him, but you showcase Matt McClung.
Okay. I see P's not a fan of the dunk contest anymore. Scrap that. Um, what do you guys think of the new All-Star format as far as choosing teams that they're going to go to tonight?
Love
Um,
it, love it.
It's gonna be live, right?
yes.
Yes, love it,
I mean,
love it.
most
Hold back to
things,
old school days, street ball.
you get some
Go to the court.
hurt feelings, not on the court. I mean, before the court, with just being who
Mm,
gets picked.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I look forward. This is the mean streak in me. Who's going to take the Rudy Gobert Award and get picked last? I'm very interested in it. I
Wow.
say what you want.
That's what you're there for.
Yeah, I just want to
Somebody
see who's going
has
to
to
pick
be last,
last.
right?
Somebody has to get picked last. So it's almost like you're looking at him like, oh, you shouldn't be here, bro.
Who
Yeah,
do
no,
we
and
think
it
is
hurts. And it
who do
hurts.
we think is going to get picked last this year?
Ah,
I don't want to. Damn. I guess if we're going to be mean, I need to be mean all the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
who
Say
who
it with
who
your chest.
who are the reserves? Like who got on
Julius
after
Randle.
somebody got hurt? Hmm?
Julius Randle.
Randall could get that he
He
could get
could
picked
get picked.
last. He could
Brunson
get
got
picked
on
last.
too, right? Did Brunson
Who?
get on?
No.
Brunson.
Mm-mm,
Did he get?
mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Halliburton.
I think Randall's a real good. Has a really good chance of being last. See, I
Yeah,
mean,
I like Randall for last, yo.
I'm
I
thinking that
like Randall
myself.
for
If I'm at the park, I'm looking at all these dudes. Yeah, I might pick a couple before I pick Randall. Even I think
Halliburton.
good defense is always you can always pick on good defense, yo.
no, Halliburton could get picked last. Personally, I'm picking him before Randall. I think Randall's going to get picked last because I'm thinking De'Aaron Fox. I'm picking De'Aaron Fox.
Mm,
It might be between Sabonis and Randall.
No.
You think
Yeah.
it's supposed to start? It's supposed to starting?
No,
Oh yeah, so
Yeah,
it might be supposed
yeah,
to Randall.
yeah.
I
I
think
think
he's gonna get picked before Randall.
Oh, marketing. Oh yeah,
Oh,
marketing.
he's gonna be picked way before Randall, I believe. Corey's better.
yo, he should be picked before that.
Marketing, Sabonis, and Randall. I think those three.
Marketing's gonna be most improved player.
Possibly, yeah. No, he's good. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, he
I'm not
is.
saying I'm not saying Randall's not a good player. I'm just
He's
saying
not. He's not. He's decent.
somebody's gonna have to get picked last. So
He's
that's
Julius is having a good year.
yeah.
Hey guys, let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to be the last pick in the All-Star game tonight? Um, we're picking Julius Randle. At least me and P are picking Julius Randle. Who you got, Hill?
I'm gonna go with Halliburton.
P Hill got Halliburton. It's on the record right now. So hit us up on social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Um, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can email us directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Fellas, we got to send a big rest in peace, rest in power. Shout out to Mr. Plug 2 of De La Soul. Just wanted to talk about where De La Soul ranks in our all-time hip-hop groups. You know, where do we rank De La Soul in their contribution to hip-hop? I got them as a top 10 group of all time. I think you have to put them in that category because of their contribution, especially early on. Yeah, I think especially with their connections, you know, and so much stuff that they were involved with so many influential artists that still are performing today, you know, from Busta Rhymes to Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, you know, they're all De La Soul was connected with all that movement, you know, and all those great groups and artists. And they made great music, at least initially, I thought. P,
Yeah, they did.
Talk to me, P.
Look at that guy down below.
Talk to me, P.
No, that guy down below making faces. They're top 10.
Now, first of all, I'll say rest in peace, man. Plug 2. Growing up, big De La
Be
Soul fan.
disrespectful.
Nah, big De La Soul fan.
Nah,
Big Native Tongue fan. I was, you know, I try to keep it real, as the kids say. I think they're the bottom half of the top 10. I was going in my mind. I'm thinking, you know, not in order. I'm just thinking groups: Mobb Deep, EPMD, Tribe Called Quest.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Smith and Wesson, and also Wild Card. Wu-Tang Clan.
We'll do Black Moon and say the whole group. So Smith and Wesson, everybody underneath Black Moon.
I'd rather say Black Moon than Smith and Wesson because I feel like Smith and Wesson they could be considered, but they don't have enough material out there.
Cool.
Albums out. You know what I mean?
No, I came prepared. I understand the statement. I just thought Smith and Wesson was better. And I know Black Moon's more popular, and without Black Moon, Smith and Wesson probably wouldn't even been in the game. So I get it. Mm-hmm. I like the Shining. I love the album. Gangstar.
No.
So I think they're in that I'll just say they're in the bottom half of the top 10, you know.
Creeping closer to 5 than we think though, right?
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I wasn't sure they were top 10. To be honest, I was gonna say on the fringe of being in the top 10, but I honestly think they're a top 10 group of all time.
Yeah. I think when you look at their music, their impact on the culture, on so many different levels, you know, not just, you know, music, but hey, even fashion and, you know, that whole style of movement. that was started with the native tongue and whatnot, and then evolved to the backpack movement, for lack of a better term, and whatnot. So, yeah, I think easy top 10.
I give a lot of sentimental value because I fell in love with 3 Feet High and Rising, so that's clearly why I have them in my top 10. But that other side of my shoulder is that red guy. So I'm gonna put a few names just to give you a little thought of. They got consolation prizes. Let me know if you think that they were better than them. Just let me know.
Mm.
Are they better than the Locks?
I forgot. Oh no.
Yes, you know.
The only reason why I say that is what you call it. Everybody got to remember, Locks had shiny suits on.
I don't. Okay.
They had shiny suits on.
Yeah, but that's money. That's money, power, and respect. But okay.
That's a no for you, Pete.
I got the Locks on that one.
Okay.
With all due respect.
Were they better than Brand Nubians?
Yeah.
That's a no for me as well. And I like, again, I got the top 10. No, correct?
I gotta go with Brand Nubians if I'm gonna be honest.
Right. That's 2.
I forgot about
that. I had to tally 2 for you, Motor. All right.
Shout out to New Rochelle, man.
Okay. You think they were better than Onyx? Yes, correct?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Were they better than the Fugees?
Yes.
Cypress Hill?
Nah, they weren't better than the Fugees.
Oh, that's the one for you then, Mo. Okay. Were they better than BDP?
I don't consider them a group.
Okay.
I don't consider BDP a group. I don't.
They're better than Run DMC?
No.
Were they better than Salt and Pepper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love Salt and Pepper. Roots, yes.
Roots? Bone Thugs?
Oh, push for me, Roots. Bone Thugs.
The Roots.
I got them better than Bone Thugs and the Roots.
NWA?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take De La Soul.
Ghetto Boys?
Yeah.
I'll take De La Soul.
No.
I'll take De La Soul. I'm good.
All right, those were some of the constellations in which I found them on the outside looking in of top 10 if I was going to go on the other shoulder. But since I'm in a good mood, I got them in the lower version of my top 10, put it that way. So rest in peace. But if they weren't on some people's top 10, I would understand it. Just to be fair, I got to be fair on this. If they didn't make people's top 10, I understood why.
Yeah, and I see you brought the pencil out. You did your due diligence, because the Locks and Brand Nubians, I completely overlooked that. I completely overlooked the Locks and Brand
Nubians. That will have them on the outside looking at.
They might be like 9 or 10 at that point.
9 or 10. Okay.
Yeah. They'll still be in, but yeah, like you say, when originally I had them closer to 5, like you said, but they're definitely closer to 10 now after the Locks and Brand Nubians. Yeah.
Shouts out to Plug 2, man. I mean, I remember where I was when those albums was. Stakes is high too.
Stakes is high. I mean, they did Buddy. Like that's just that comes on. You still just get this nostalgia when it comes on today.
It's so easy. I think that was like It's So Easy had a little gas face vibe to it. Got into a little heat with one of their videos. I remember Stakes is high. They took a little shot too on one of their videos.
Right. Yeah.
So some controversy there too. So, but for the most part, I mean, really, really good career.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
continue on the hip hop thing. Right. Billboard released their top 50 rappers of all time.
Right.
I kind of want to focus in on the top 10. And hopefully Pete, have you guys got a chance to look at the Billboard's top 10 rappers of all time?
I have.
Yeah, I think Pete's putting it up on the screen for everybody.
We got some graphics. Looking good, Nikki.
And we start off with number 10 at Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
Since we all got to see the top 10 rappers of this list, let's just talk about who we would keep and who we would take away. And Pete, if you can, I'm just gonna start naming some of the top 10 rappers, or you can scroll down, so we can see. We got Nicki Minaj at number 10. I believe Snoop Dogg is number 9, if I'm not mistaken. And then coming at number 8 is Drake.
Uh-huh.
Then we have number 7, Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Then we have number 6, the Notorious B.I.G. Wow.
Okay.
Number 5, Eminem. Number 4, Tupac. Number 3, Nas. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, Jay-Z.
Shout out to Ho.
Brooklyn's
Yeah,
finest.
you want to call it what it is? Let's go 10-1 and see who belong, who don't.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start at number 10. Do we keep Nicki Minaj in the top 10?
This is consensus basis for all of us, right? This is no. This is clearly no, right?
This is no, but with all due respect to MC Lyte, Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, numerous others, I think she might be the best female rapper.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bar for bar, she might be the best female rapper, but I wouldn't have her in the top 10.
Her and Cardi?
I'll probably give it to Nicki just off of, hey, more materials out there.
Longevity. Cardi's giving her that work right now, though.
Yeah, I'll give it to Nicki. I'll give it to Nicki off the pen game. Just off the pen game. I'll go Nicki.
Cardi's nasty these past couple years. Oof. Ugly on Nicki right now. But she's out though.
Yeah.
So Nicki is out.
Yeah.
Absolutely out. She's out.
All right. So let's go on to number 9. Snoop Dogg.
Again, about that pen game, he's out.
Where you got him?
I got Snoop at 10, actually.
I'm with you. You can't be on this list. You can't be on the top 10 and you got ghostwriters on your resume.
And let me be clear.
And one of the ghostwriters is still in the top 10. I'm sorry.
Let me be clear. Doggy Style, classic. One of the best rap albums of all time. Let me be clear. Yeah, Snoop is one of the all-time greats. So I don't want, let's not get crazy.
But I can't have you in the top 10 if you got cats ghostwriting for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's his personal preference. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hill got him at number 10. I gotta respect it.
All right. So majority rules, Snoop is out. So we got Nicki, Snoop out. Number 8. From Canada.
No.
Yeah.
So that's a no for Hill.
Yeah.
Pete, where you at?
No.
And that's consistent. Drake is out.
Okay.
I think, and this is where I start to think that they're looking at record sales to determine this list, maybe, or maybe that's part of the equation. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because Drake doesn't impress me as a lyricist. He doesn't have me saying, "Oh wow, I can't believe he put those words together." And I feel
I think he's nice, actually.
Okay.
I do. I think he's nice. I just don't have him in my top 10. I think he's top 10 now. Yeah, sure. Of all time, no way. I think he's very talented, to be fair, though.
Okay. And I'm not saying he's not talented, but I think in order to be in the top 10, there should be songs I can point to that and say, damn, I can't believe he put that on wax. And I don't have that. There's songs that I like from Drake, of course, that are popular, make my feet move. But there's I can't think of a song where I can say, "Oh shoot, I can't believe he rapped that. I can't believe he put those lyrics together." You know, and
I think he's more of a performer than rapper. That's
yeah, yep, yep.
a hell of a performer.
But he's not in the top 10
No,
rappers
no.
of
I
all
mean, I didn't have
time.
to think about it. No,
All right,
not at all.
number 7. Let's get to number 7.
I can see why they have him there. Put it that way. But he wouldn't make mine. But I can see why they have him there.
Where you at with it?
Talented lyricist, but I wouldn't have him in my top 10.
Right.
I think I agree with that assessment. I think talented, has his moments. He has a couple of records that did have me say, "Oh, okay, that's why people like you." So I can understand why people would have him in the top 10, but he wouldn't be in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, the Notorious B.I.G. Personally, I believe that this man is too low on the top 10 list, and he would definitely be staying in my top 10 list. He would be in my top 3 list. Um, and depending on the day, he might be on my top 1 list. So that's where I'm at with it. P, where you at with it?
I know everybody has their opinion, so I have mine. When I saw him at 6, I just said this list is trash.
Mm,
I think he's the
mm.
best rapper to ever do it. I think he's the best rapper to ever do it. Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean?
In the story.
Yeah.
I
Hill, where
mean,
you at with it?
I did a drive from North Carolina for Thanksgiving. And that's the way I was able to judge my ability to make certain drives, because I'm older now and I can't drive as far as I thought I can. I put on Life After Death straight through, and the kids were knocked out. My wife and I was up the entire trip. It was quick, very quick. And we were so thankful for there's certain albums in which you could just press play and you could just go till it's over, and just marveling about the masterpiece and what it is. So for that being said, I mean, subjectivity plays a part all the time. I say that a lot. And this is what makes this list a joke.
Yeah.
A joke. I mean, I can't find people who have done it any better. I don't care if you invented this genre, he perfected it. Whatever you want to say, the last poets, whoever you thought invented hip hop and rap, thank you for it. But this man perfected it. So for him to be 6, it's a travesty.
Yeah, and that's just the
nothing more. Just that it's just travesty.
It's just to piggyback on what Hill's saying, like, Ready to Die, it's like certified classic.
Mm-hmm. I don't even play it. I don't play it. And it's a perfect album, and I don't play it.
Life After Death almost makes you forget Ready to Die existed. It's that good. And someone who grew up on Slick Rick with the storytelling, G-Rap with the storytelling, KRS with the storytelling, Kane with the flash and the punchlines, Rakim with the lyricism, LL with the songs for the ladies. For my G.I. Joe heads, this is like Serpentor. They just took the best of all the past greats and made it into one person. And that's how I look at it. Like, what do you want? Battle rap? You want street rap? You want storytelling? You want parties? You want songs for women? He could do it all. He did it all. And like, I think Life After Death is just illustrates that to the fullest.
And I think when I try to compare it to something sports equivalent, it's like a pitcher going out and pitching nothing but perfect games and then retires. Biggie didn't have a ball thrown. He threw nothing but strikes. He had a perfect game. He was pitching perfect games basically. and he was just getting into his prime, just starting to learn about the music and how to really take advantage of it and leverage his talent to really move people. And like that's it for me. It's like he pitched a perfect game every time he went out. He didn't give you a ball at all, you know. Or when he got on the basketball court, he never missed every shot he put up.
And
I mean,
also, what is? Go ahead, help.
I think when you open up Pulp Fiction, that box, I think when you open up the Pulp Fiction box, it was just two things inside of it. It was Legend by Bob Marley and Life After Death. Like, that's it for me. And there's countless perfect albums, but the Pulp Fiction box opens up. It's any beautiful women you can think of. We put that in there. The Legend and Life After Death. And for that, if you're gonna give me reggae, whoever you love, what year, I don't care. It has to start there. It has to start with Bob with that. Peter Tosh, to go back. It was people before Bob. I get it. It's Bob. Right. And for me, for rap, everything before and after Big, I don't care where you are, drill rap, whatever, it starts with Life After Death. That is when you can say a beautiful album when production meets lyricism perfectly. It's him. No one in any type of thing you said. Bone was on his album and he outdid Bone in rapping their way. Whatever way you wanted, he had it as.
And that's part of the reason why I say, hey, he was starting to learn how to leverage his talent to the music. Like, hey, going into different styles. Like you said, hey, he did a song with Bone and out Bone. You know what I mean? Pause. But whatchamacallit? He was just starting to get into his prime, yo. And he was giving you nothing but strikes and perfect shots.
And to your point, Bo, and I know we're going longer on Biggie, but I don't care. It's my favorite rapper, so I'm all right with it. It's like, I know people want to go say the longevity. That's kind of like, the pushback on the longevity. And I'm like, well, whoever you think is better, not only give me their first two albums, give me their best two albums against his only two, and I think he'll come out on top.
Yeah. And those albums still play good today. They're still classics today. You can listen to them both right now.
Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, true definition of a classic. Classics don't get dated.
Yeah, no age.
Yeah.
No age. So this is what makes Billboard to me. I mean, you can put the clown face up for this list.
Yeah.
So you can go to number 5. And if you have time, I want to hear y'all top 10 as well. But this is a joke. But go ahead, go to 5.
Number 5, Eminem.
And you hate to knock M just for the simple fact that he's before Big. I mean, you hate to do it. You hate to do it. I could see it. I think it's a syncopation, mainly why I could see it for that. For me, it was the jokes and the humor, again, off rhyming. Talented, again, like Drake and Wayne. I totally understand why people have them on there. He didn't make my top 10 list. But M is highly talented. I don't want to take anything away from those rappers who didn't make it, but he didn't make my top 10 list. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, to me, he's in the vein. I know it sounds a little weird, but as far as like lyricism, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, I'll even throw Lupe Fiasco out there, which none of them would be in my top 10. So no, he wouldn't make my top 10.
And see, I got M on the bottom of my top 10. I got him in my top 10. Whatchamacallit? I think for all the reasons you guys just stated, and also with being conscious of some of the limitations he had. Some things we would allow Big to say that M can't say. Point blank, period. And how, especially with his talent as a battle rapper, or being able to, jumping to ciphers and whatnot, and being quick with it, with his words and stuff like that, and being conscious of the limitations that are on him, and not slipping up into that. Yeah, I got him in my top 10. Number 4, Tupac.
Thought they nailed this one. Thought they nailed it. I got him at 4. I have him there.
P, where you at?
Not in my top 10.
Okay. Pac is in my top 10. I put him in my top 10. Definitely. I think he has more than enough material at this point, even posthumously. And his influence on the culture. I think you definitely have to put him in the top 10.
All Eyes on Me, hell of an album. Man.
Yeah, and this is from a guy that initially wasn't a Tupac fan.
Oh
But
man,
All Eyes on
me
Me
either in
like,
the beginning. Not at all. I didn't like the Dear Mama album. None of that. All Eyes on Me was special.
All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli.
Machiavelli also. Machiavelli also.
Those are some special albums, and what he was able to do with the Outlaws as well, posthumously. Yeah. Hate him or love him, he put some good music out there.
For me, I thought they nailed this one at 4.
I think I would have him
lower. I can see why
5.
people don't. You know what I'm saying? It's a quiet taste with Tupac, but I couldn't muster any of the stuff. Underground, and I didn't like the early stuff whatsoever. I'm one of those on the bandwagons, I guess, after. I feel sorry for saying that once all the bad stuff had happened. But All Eyes on Me won me over. Machiavelli won me over.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this one.
P?
Oh, yeah, not in my top 10. I just think there's 10 rappers that I've heard that's better than him. So, I like some of his songs, but I'm clearly not as big as a Tupac fan as you guys or just about anybody else we grew up with. I'm just not.
All right, then let's move on to number 3. And Tupac is in because me and Hill got him in. So
I got outvoted.
Yeah, man. Nasir Jones, man. This is the only time I felt like they got it right.
Yes and no. He could be 3, 2, or 1.
And I could understand that. Yeah, but yeah, this is where I would have Nas.
He has stepped up his transition phase from King's Disease. Everything prior to King's Disease, to me, I had Nas at 1. And I just said he had stepped up his game from then to King's Disease. He's made that transition. I like everything prior to it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I loved everything prior to it. I liked everything after. And that drop is why I can see where he could be at 3 or 2. And if you didn't fault him for it, where he could be at 1. Nasir Jones' career has been spectacular for me. But he has had some drops and dips throughout his career, which I can see where he can drop them. 2, 3, you know what I mean? So it's not bad. 3, I'm fine with 3. If you had 1, I'd have been fine. 2, I'd have been happy. 3, I definitely could live with. It's one of those things. So I'm fine with this. Hell of a career, though.
Yeah, definitely. Pete?
I've already been on record that Big's my favorite. And I made the comment like, take any 2 albums and put them against Big's. This is one of the guys that it would be close. You know what I mean? It would be close. Yeah, he's in my top 3. Like, this is as low as I would put him.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
this is this is one of the things like, dang, it's just that's it almost like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, Big was really great. Because I know how great Nas music is. And yeah, but yeah, definitely top three rapper of all time, in my opinion. Easily. This is as low, like I said, this is as low as I would put him. And I think that says a lot.
Number two, Kendrick Lamar.
No, he wouldn't be in my top 10.
Mm.
I'll just, yeah, that's he's not even close, to be
Hill.
honest. To be fair, the answer is no. And I can't even, like the others, like Drake and Wayne and Eminem, he is the one I can't see how they could put him in the top 10. The other three I could see it. I can't see. Top 10, I need to be able to recite a bar. I can't do it. I can't start with a letter. If you had me pick one in Wheel of Fortune, I couldn't do it. So if you gave me 50 chances, I would have named him as a top 50 rapper, to be fair. I'm going to be honest with you. So no, I wouldn't have him in there. I've heard the young man has talent, and I'll leave it at that. I couldn't tell you anything that he has done. My siblings tell me that he is phenomenal what he does. If phenomenal is what he does, then it would have crossed my path some way, somehow. And it hasn't.
Oh man.
So for him to be two of all time is terrible. I mean, I have Game before him.
Whoa.
I mean, Game stuff has come across my path as Game. I've listened to stuff in which I've enjoyed from Game. There's nothing I've ever.
So you don't like Be Humble or?
No, it's not about that. I don't know what be humble is. Unless you're telling me to be humble because I'm being too cocky or something, then yeah, I should be humble. But I've never heard anything from. I've never heard a track. And they tell me that Good Kid, Mad City is probably one of the best. You have to sit through. I couldn't tell you. I've never heard anything that he's done. That could be an indictment on me. But how could you be the second greatest of all time? To me, if it hasn't passed through everyone that should be here, and my wife doesn't know. My kids recite some stuff from Big. No, I haven't heard anything from it.
P, where you at with Kendrick Lamar? Should he be in the top 10?
No. Yeah, no. And I think this might I don't want to use the generation thing as a scapegoat because I've heard his music. I just don't think he's top 10. You know what I mean? Unlike Hill, like I've heard it. I gave it a chance and it's sad. Like he's number 2 all time. I'm not sure if he's number 2 now. Right? Like is he better than J. Cole and Drake?
I think he is, yo.
No,
Drake, Dirk,
see my thing is none of them should be in the top 10. Not in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, and I agree with you guys as far as I don't think Kendrick Lamar is in the top 10 yet. I think for me, he's top 10 legit. He's just outside the top 10 for me.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, but I mean, obviously he's not alone. But yeah,
not at all.
I mean, actually, on this podcast, you are very alone. But according to Billboard, you're on the money. Yeah.
Well, that's 2 of us. He doesn't make it. That's me and Pete. He doesn't make it.
No, he doesn't make the top 10. Yeah, he doesn't make the top 10. And number 1, Mr. J-Ho, Jay-Z, Brooklyn's finest.
Was hired at number 1.
Hey, I'm perfectly fine with this.
Everything with Jay is, to me, is timing. I don't care. By default, he just had perfect timing throughout his career. And yeah, take it as is. It's just been perfect timing. He's a perfect rapper who's had perfect timing, and those mesh. I can see why he's one. Jay is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Big passing. Nas going through stuff, which he had to help with. I just don't know if Jay-Z is that shine if Big is still here. But Big wasn't. And he took advantage of it to the fullest extent. And I think Jay-Z has a right to be at number one for that. Because having the success and having a window and taking advantage of that window and pushing through it takes a lot. You know what I mean? So this is one who didn't waste a bit of his potential. And I think Jay-Z being number one is well garnered to have it. But I have a fun asterisk next to it. Not a disrespectful one, but a fun asterisk next to it. And it's Big. And it's Nas. So if he was 1, 2, or 3, same way, I would totally understand. You know what I mean? I think our list is more interesting. We got through this list, which makes me want to throw up. But hell, our list might make other people want to throw up. You know what I'm saying? Like rappers, I tend to have an East Coast bias, which I thought they coming from it. I think they put more into it, and I think I hate for me to say that, and it's not fair, but I really feel hip hop on the East. I don't know what to say. I do have some West Coast rappers in my top 10, but I just think for some odd reason it was done at its highest level here. So without further ado, y'all want to go to your top 10?
Why don't you hit us with yours? It seems like you ready.
Yeah.
Stay with your chest, bro.
For one, I got Big. 2, I got Nas. 3, I got Hove. 4, I got Pac. 5, I got Kiss. 6, I got Ghost. 7, I got Styles. 8, I got Face. 9, I got Ray. 10, I got Snoop. Consolation prizes went to Sean Price, Pun, and Fabulous. So it's heavy East Coast bias, rappers. That would be my top 10. I can live with that as is. It's some not from the feminists and the West Coast. I don't have any females in my top 10. And I have 3 West Coast guys. Well, 2 really, because Pac's from
MC New York. MC New York.
So I got Face and
Snoop.
Face and Snoop.
P.
Yeah, of course I got Big 1. Nas and Jay, you could flip flop. When I heard King Disease, I had Nas at 2. When I heard Ho's first song, God Did, I had him number 2. So I guess just for this purpose, I'll say Jay-Z 2, Nas 3. Gets interesting now. I'll probably put KRS 4. Kiss 5. Just because he's my favorite rapper growing up. Kane, probably 6. Ghost 7. Fab 8. Slick Rick 9. And probably G-Rap 10.
I like that.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm more of an 88 guy, 88 early 90s guy, but that's my top 10. And I think it's like probably all New York rappers. Yeah. So it is what it is. It's where I'm from. It's what I like.
I think for me, it would be Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas. That's my top 3. Pac would be 4. Rakim 5. KRS 1 6. I know y'all ain't gonna like this one. Most Def 7.
Yeah, you're right,
man. Eminem 8. Slick
Absolutely.
Rick, 9, and I couldn't decide Andre 2000 or Big Boy for my number 10 spot.
Put either one in there. It's your list, bro. Either one. Either one. I don't think it matters.
Now it's interesting because I'm not the biggest Outkast fan in the world, but people usually tend to favor Andre 3000. It's like a Q-tip Fife Dog situation.
Yeah,
So
and I can understand it, but there's sometimes where I favor Big Boy over him.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not saying one is
it-
better than the other. I'm just saying most people give the nod to Andre 3000. If you think Big Boy is better, nah, I'm not here to argue with you.
About it. And Outkast is one of my favorite groups. I'll say that.
Yeah, I got them, but they're one of my at least top 10 groups of all time. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have
they're
to
not.
be in that.
They're not in my top 10. But
Yeah.
we did that already.
Being up here in New York, I was one pushing some of that Outkast music up here early.
Now I like
Mhm.
Southern. Shout out to
listen.
Omi. Southern
Yeah.
players that kind of like music.
Aquemini is a classic, yo.
After
Aquemini is
Southern,
a classic.
Yeah, Criminal is fire. Absolutely a classic.
That's a classic. Yeah. You can play that straight through.
Classic,
Yeah.
classic album in a way where maybe two are off. But
I think they had a couple of good albums. I wouldn't go as far as classic personally, but
That Aquemini album was a classic, yo.
the Locks of the South.
Yeah.
The way they go back and forth, you don't think so? Locks of the South.
I'm just not. I was. Yeah, they're okay. I'm just. I don't know.
Hey guys, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. Who would be your top 10 rappers of all time? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification before the next video. Also, don't forget to subscribe wherever you receive your podcast. Or you can email us directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. I want to go back to basketball a minute, fellas. I know we've been on a hip hop conversation for a minute, and it's come up because I'm reading stories or hearing about stories about players, current NBA players, being sensitive about criticism they're receiving from ex-NBA players. In particular, players like Kendrick Perkins, or Jay Williams, or Charles Barkley and Shaq and them when they're being critical. And I know off the air we were talking about, should ex NBA players be in a position to criticize current NBA players?
Well, I think it depends on what your definition of criticism, because they are analysts. So I think
Mm-hmm.
probably in most analysts' minds, they don't think they're criticizing, because I think criticizing has like a negative connotation to it.
Okay.
So it's so many variables. It's who's saying it, what they're saying it, who they're saying it about, what topic is it? Like, okay, it's saying I'll never win a championship. Well, have you won a championship? You know what I mean? It's so many different variables. So I mean, at the end of the day, if you're an NBA player, you kind of gotta like, you gotta be like white, you gotta look at it, listen to it like it's white noise. You gotta just ignore it. You know what I mean?
Love this topic. Love it. From a civilian standpoint, I think everything's open for criticism. I think it's perfect. I have no problem with whoever's doing it. That'd be us, bloggers, color commentary, analysts, fine. NBA players who did it and they switched over to that medium, yes, I have one stipulation. If it exceeded your limitations, you shouldn't be able to make a criticism. Period.
That's kind of fair.
You couldn't do it, and you're upset that another player who has the capability of doing it, but not on a normal basis, I have a major problem with it.
Okay.
So for Klay Thompson to miss a shot, and ex-NBA player who averaged 4 points should say Clay should have made that shot, and you wouldn't have attempted that shot? Yeah, no, no. I have a problem with that big time. I don't think they should be able to say that at all.
So hell, just to put an example, I'll name names. So we're looking at like back in the day, like that Tim Legler, Tracy McGrady thing.
Correct.
But T-Mac is looking at Tim Legler like, what? How could you, okay, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, guys like that. If they criticize them, okay, they led their team to championships, what have you. Tim Legler, you're a bench player. Like I was better than you in high school, pretty much.
Right.
So I can understand from a player's perspective looking at it like that. Like, who are, in the words of T-Mac, who's Tim Legler? Who are you to criticize me?
Correct.
I've accomplished more than you. Therefore, I probably I know more. I have a higher basketball IQ than you. So I get it, but at the same time, people got to do their jobs. Like if you missed a shot, you missed a shot. If you made a bad pass, you made a bad pass. You don't have to be an all NBA player to say someone made a bad pass. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's so many variables.
Slippery slope, right? And I respect I respect that, but for me is they have to do their job, but when it comes to that moment, let someone else do it. And I know it's pretty much like, well, how would they be doing their jobs? And if they're paid for their opinion, then I would say that these people should vet out better people to be given their opinion, someone that I can respect. Because if you're going to tell me that I don't see Dame Lillard, if you're going to have, I'm sorry, if you're going to have Greg Grant doing play-by-play, and he says, well, that's what's going to set aside Greg Grant for being as great as Steph Curry, then I'm turning my TV off. Why should I take your expertise as someone who barely cracked the New York Knicks rotation, forget started the Knicks rotation, and tell me that a great player like Dame Lillard, who is just management tied by the way that they, put teams together, and Dame Lillard isn't as great or as great as a contemporary like Steph Curry. So no, I wouldn't want to hear it for someone who is just less that I can't relate to that way. So that's where I come from. And I see people say, well, then you probably won't be having too many people besides the greats do commentary, and 9 times out of 10, they're not great at it. Well, leave it to civilians to do it. I just feel better than just give me Bream and Marv Albert for all the time. You know what I'm saying? Humble people, because if you're humble and you're doing it, Reggie Miller fights for people. You know what I'm saying? Reggie Miller fights for the quiet. Reggie Miller does a great job. Grant Hill does, to me, a great job. These people are really humble in what they do. But when you have a couple of people on there who actually get to give their opinion on certain networks and are paid to do it, it's frustrating. It really is.
Yeah, because like you said, I think when you say bring up good players, Reggie Miller and Grant Hill, they have credibility, but at the same time, I think they're respectful. When they do criticize or analyze, however you want to call it, they're respectful in doing it, where the players don't feel attacked. You know what I mean? And they can relate. Like Reggie Miller, as we know, is a clutch player, but he could relate to missing the game winner. You know what I mean? So Absolutely. he's not going to kill a player for doing that. Or I'm sure Grant Hill and Reggie Miller had turnovers down the stretch. Everybody has. So I think they can relate more. Whereas a lesser player might just say, "Oh, you're supposed to get it done." Well, you never got it done. Right. You never been in that situation to succeed or fail because the ball would never be in your hands. So yeah. So I do agree. I'd rather hear from Shaq Barkley and Kenny Smith. I know Kenny wasn't like a all-world player, but he was a championship player, than guys who went to journalism school. And right. You know what I mean? Or even people who were like the 12th man on the bench. There's a difference. It's just a respect level of me listening to them. Because I know you don't know what's going on. You never did it.
And I want to mention this to your point, to both of your points in regards to the comparison between like Reggie Miller and Grant Hill and even Jamal Crawford and
Does a good job. Mm-hmm.
and Kendrick Perkins and Jay Williams. I think, like Kendrick Perkins, let's use that for example. I think he's put in a different position than those guys because I don't think you're asking Reggie Miller or Grant Hill what they think Kevin Durant's legacy is going to be after leaving Brooklyn, but you're asking that of Kendrick Perkins. You know, I think what Grant Hill and Reggie Miller get the benefit of is that they're just answering basketball questions. They're talking about basketball subjects. They're keeping it strictly basketball. They're not asking about leadership potential or, hey, this guy's potential to lead a team or whatnot. They're just talking about, hey, their performance on the court 9 times out of 10.
And then that goes back to my point with then they're not doing the vetting correctly then. If that's who you're going to have to ask then. Don't ask someone that you're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, ask someone where it's credible.
Right. So instead of asking Kendrick Perkins about Kevin Durant's leadership, you should ask Kevin Garnett. Or even Paul Pierce, because they were the leaders. You're asking someone who wasn't a leader on this team about leadership. Not smart.
That's not Kendrick's fault. He's giving the answer that he feels, but that's on someone who just didn't vet the person they should have been asking the right person to. You know what I'm saying? You ask someone who is at the bottom, their perspective is going to be totally different from someone who had to drive the bus.
And to your point, Mo, you said they don't ask Reggie. They actually, that's a question they should ask Reggie Miller because he led a team for nearly 20 years.
And part of the reason why I point that out is just to show the differences in coverages. And like, hey, you're talking about TNT versus ESPN at this point. You know, and ESPN sets up their ex-players to answer tough questions like that. And they have all the ESPN ex-players are Kendrick Lamar, Tim Legler, and Kendrick Perkins are the highest, you know, awarded.
It's Jalen Rose, players. But I mean, Jalen Rose is the one that they should ask, I guess, the most stuff out of all of them. Jalen Rose is the most successful out of all of them.
Because to be fair, the question's really not that tough. You just asked the wrong person.
Right.
Like to Reggie Miller, the question's not tough. To Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, the question's not that tough because they did it.
Hey guys, let us know what you guys think. Do you think former NBA players should be critical or should be commentating on current NBA players? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you receive your podcast. And you can hit us up directly at weneedthefifth@gmail.com. Fellas, Will Smith is about to release or working on 2 big projects. P, I know you're going to be happy for one of them. It's I Am Legend 2 is coming out. And he's in production with Martin Lawrence for Bad Boys 4. Is this going to be the real test for Will Smith as far as his capacity to draw in the audience after the Chris Rock incident?
Absolutely. These are 2, what in his prime would be 2 blockbusters. And you already have a built-in audience because these are all sequels or, you know, franchises, I should say. So, you know, I wish him the best, wish everybody the best. But if these two movies flop, then obviously he's not as marketable as he once was.
Phil, where you at?
Just because the premise of the movies, like you said, I'm part of the franchise, so it's a good chance I'm going to see both, and be happy to see both. Probably more disappointed that he's probably going to be not working with Martin Lawrence, but he's going to be working with Michael B. Jordan for I Am Legend. So that movie's probably going to bomb. I Am Legend. From that's why I love the first one.
Terrible movie, yo.
Yeah,
Terrible
me,
movie.
I really
Mo spoke off air about this the other day. I'm with you, Hill. I thought it was a dope movie.
A lot. I loved it a lot. Man.
Like,
One of my
and,
favorites.
and I think part of and P alluded to this part of what I was talking to him about the other day is that, hey, I read the book, and for me, the movie was such a letdown. They dumbed it down for the audiences, and they removed all the possibilities of a part two if they stick to the theatrical cut of the movie. They're gonna go with the director's cut of the movie as far as how they're explaining there's a part two to it, and the director's cut kind of lent itself more to the book per se, and because I felt the I Am Legend movie was good if you just wanted jump scares and stuff like that, and I felt that the original story provided you not only with jump scares but provided you with deeper scares, deeper fears to be worried about, especially as a human being, and it asks deeper questions than the theatrical version of that movie asks. And I think, like I said, they really dumbed it down. And for me, it was disappointing because I Am Legend is a short story to begin with. It's less than 200 pages. It's like I think 250 at the most. So it's like you didn't have a whole like a encyclopedia that you had to shrink down into 2 hours. You had something manageable that you could fit in the 2 hour limitations they put that movie under, and you could have gotten something that was that could have been so much more impactful. I felt, and I think they missed that moment. And them doing I Am Legend 2 for me is like you already missed that window. And now you're gonna have to backtrack and kind of backtrack the story to where it should have been, where you're following the book more closely instead of trying to create something new for the movie theaters. For me, that's why it was such a disappointing movie. It's like they missed the opportunity.
You're not even gonna go see it.
Because my thing is, in order for them to make an I Am Legend 2 make sense, they should have done what I would have wanted them to do with the first movie.
So you're out.
And yeah.
You're out.
Yeah.
And P, you're out on Bad Boys.
You know what? I'm gonna see it. Going in knowing I'm not gonna like it, but I'm a Martin Lawrence, Will Smith fan. I've seen the first three. I'm gonna see this. That's how Star Wars gets me. I'm a sucker for the franchises.
I'm for the franchise, and to be full transparency, I mean I don't like Bad Boys. I really don't. I'm just there for the franchise. I don't like Bad Boys 1, 2, or 3. I never did.
Wow.
Just like the fact that they put together and work together. All three are complete bores to me. All of them.
Wow.
So, but I support both. So I'll be there for 4. Like I said, I'm a franchisee with them, so I'm gonna watch it, and I probably feel indifferent, just like I did for the rest. They just don't move me. But for I Am Legend, I'm gonna be there for that. And again, it's just something with me. Michael B. Jordan's acting. I just don't like it. So I have to go over that bias and hopefully get one over that way. So we'll see.
Okay. Wow. What's on the radar, fellas?
But Giannis and LeBron picking the teams, old school style, playground, street ball. There for that. Don't look good for Julius Randle, as we talked about earlier, but we'll see.
Phil, what's on the radar, man?
Getting ready for March Madness coming up, so in time for college basketball. So looking forward to that.
Okay. I'm with P. All-Star game, the new street ball selection, that's what I'm calling it. New street ball selection rules. I'm there for that. I want to see Julius Randle get picked last.
No Steph Curry.
I'm there for that.
Yeah, I think Steph. I don't think Steph playing.
So who do you
No.
think is going to be the first pick?
Ooh, good question.
Tough one.
Excellent question. No KD.
No KD, no Steph.
Embiid's not even a starter. It could be
Joker,
Ja,
Tatum, Joker,
Luka.
I think it might be.
Tatum.
It could be all three of them: Tatum, Ja, Luka, or Joker. Because after KD and Steph, it gets kind of I don't know where you want to go. But it's probably 4 or 5 guys. I think that's part of it. That'll be interesting.
And the stipulations are you have to pick from the top 10, right?
Yeah, I think you have to pick the starters first, or you have to pick through that pool first. The starters pool and then the reserves. I believe this is the first time, so I don't want to even act like I know exactly what's going to be going on. But
if it's that way, that first reserve pick got to be Dame Dollar, right? It got to be Dame.
reserve.
My headphones are out. My mic is out.
It can't be. We hear you.
I hear you.
Okay. I'm using just the phone. I can't hear.
Okay.
I can't hear myself. Like, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Hill, we'll talk next show. You're into the college basketball. I just saw the big man from Purdue. I think the kid could play, but we'll get into that later.
March Madness is going to be madness.
It's going to be fun.